Hello there guys and welcome, it's Niran here, and today it is time for another episode of our Aston Villa career mode on FIFA 14. Today it will be time for episode number 38, and in this episode we will be playing two games. Firstly against Tottenham Hotspur, that will be the first game of the episode in the Barclays Premier League, and the second game of the episode I do believe is a home game, I'm not sure. It's either home or away, it's a 50-50 chance, but it's against Swansea in the Capital One Cup. That will be the round of 16 phase of the Capital One Cup. But as you can see in the background, I was having a look at the calendar, and October and November look like absolutely disgusting months. Mainly in November, we've got to play Chelsea, Man U, Man City, PSV, and Barcelona. 5 huge teams, 5 huge games to come up next month. But just before we get into the episode, I'm going to show you the table from last episode because I've run out of time. Otherwise, it would have been the longest career mode episode of all history. But here we are, leading the table by 5 points after 9 games from Tottenham, our opponents in the first game of the episode. Manchester United are third, currently in front of Chelsea, West Brom with a great start to the season. Then Man City, Arsenal in 7th, and Liverpool in 8th, with West Ham and Everton rounding out the top 10. Reading, Hull and Leicester in the relegation zone. Not a great start to the season for Leicester at all. They're 5 points off the 2 teams in front of them, with Stoke and Sunderland just outside the relegation zone. But before we get into any sorts of games, we're going to have a look at a youth scout report even. Not a squad report, a youth scout report, and as per usual, it was horrific. We're in France at the moment looking for players. A few of the players were actually okay. This guy here, Courtois, was okay, or a different Courtois, clearly, and Dimitri Languille was okay. So I decided to actually, I think, just leave them for another month to see how those guys go. Or at least I'm hoping I did. Maybe it was, oh god, it was. I think it might have been the last. Look, anyway, they weren't that good, so it's not. I've not lost anything if that was the last month of scouting. But nevertheless, we're now going to get into the first game of this episode, and we are playing Tottenham, of course. A little bit of fatigue problems, mainly Clement Grenier, but nothing major like we would see in the Swansea game. Obviously, with that game just being 2 days, I think, after the Tottenham game, there are going to be some huge problems there. But the usual team, really. Grenier, Roeder and Delph in midfield, with Backney and Juricic, the winger choices, in fact, this time. Benteke up front, of course, with Klein, Papadopoulos, Vlaar and Lowton in defence, and Ron Robert-Zieler in goal. As per usual, this is going to be a really hard game. Second in the table, Tottenham clearly in good form and playing well at the start of this season. And to be honest, I don't play very well against Spurs normally. So an in-form Spurs was something to be quite afraid of. But after just 3 minutes, Fabian Delph played through and composed, and somehow, after 4 minutes, gave us the lead. I don't know how. Sebastian Roeder, I think, giving the ball to Fabian Delph there, and Benteke now celebrating with him. It was just a really easy goal. It was pretty much straight from the kickoff. Roeder giving it to Juricic, Delph running into space, carving open the Tottenham defenders, and we were 1-0 up. But seeing as there was quite a long way to go, that was always going to be a bit of a problem, and Sandro played through, and my defending is abysmal. And that, after 8 minutes now, is 1-0. So we had 2 goals in 8 minutes, 1 for us, 1 for Tottenham. Sandro there getting the equaliser. Pretty similar goal, actually, to us, but Sandro just making me look like a complete and utter tool in defence. Please excuse my horrendous defending. But just 2 minutes after that, Delph finding some space, giving it to Benteke. Nice volley, great block though from the Tottenham defender, but it falls only to Clement Grenier, who slides it in there to make it 2-1, and it's 2-1 after 12 minutes. What an explosive start to the game. It was a little bit like the goal he scored last episode, which we didn't get to see because my PVR decided to just break. I don't know why, for about 5 minutes, but still a decent goal, and it made it 2-1. And then Backley going forward in the 14th minute. Literally, this game started off incredibly, and then into the 20th minute, a great bit of defending there, I think, from Papadopoulos. It would fall for João Falque playing for Tottenham, but yet again, a good block there from the Aston Villa, from our defenders even, and we get the ball away. And in the 33rd minute, Benteke goes forward. Not entirely sure that was a bit of a foul, a bit of a pot shot in the end from Backley, going straight into the hands of Aurelio Gomez, but I wasn't really sure whether that was a penalty on Benteke. But then the similar thing happens there. In fact, we get even luckier because João Falque gets taken out as well. But into the 58th minute, Benteke gives it to Juricic, and what a finish that is, in it off the post for his 9th goal of the season in all competitions. And we were 3-1 up after 58 minutes. Literally, the first half of this game was one of the most entertaining first halves I think we've had all season, and it pretty much continued into the second half. Grenier giving it to Benteke, nice little through ball, pretty similar to our first goal and to Tottenham's goal as well. 3 goals really like that in the game. Paulinho then found, Paulinho was found and produced a pretty decent save from Zieler, and a very panicky clearance from ourselves. Grenier then hitting the post after a good cross in. Nice little bit of control, and then the volley. We've got a little bit lucky there. Dembele, I think, with a pretty weak shot in the end. Pretty easy save there for Zila. Another shot there, I think, from either Bruma or Delph, producing a pretty decent save from Morello Gomez. Bruma then tries the overhead kick, but it does go wide, and that will be the last action of the game, ending 3-1 to us against Tottenham. Really good result, actually. I was expecting to be beaten, actually, really, against second in the league, or at least, draw the game, but a great result from ourselves, winning pretty comfortably. Juricic got man of the match with an 8.8 rating. Zila as well doing well. Loughton, Roda, Delph as well getting a good rating, as well as Papadopoulos and Christian Benteke getting a 7.1. Pretty decent for him, and also for Grenier as well, who came off with a bit of fatigue problems as per usual. But here, this disappointed me a little bit. One of our free agent signings in the summer, Yuri Ignatovic, the Russian, feels his time is up at Aston Villa. So I thought, well, I'm going into a cup game next. You know what? I'll make his day. I'll play him, but we're going to get into that a little bit later. But I thought, well, that was a little bit disappointing. I'm pretty sure when he signed the contract, I put that he would be a future first-team player as well as Luca Longo. Otherwise, I was a complete tool if I put anything else, because that's the reality of the situation. But yeah, so that was a little bit disappointing that he wants to leave. But hopefully, even if he plays 2 or 3 games, he should come out of that frame of mind. But still, I was just sending my GTN scouts out to various places. After that, to Spain, I think, to Germany, and I think to France, something like that. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention at the time. But as you can see here, Swansea, the Capital One Cup, we've got a decent chunk of fatigue issues. Grenier and Delph are effectively out, so we brought in Maya, Ignatovic, Bruma as well, starting the game this time instead of being on the bench. This is the full side. Zila in goal, Klein Papadopoulos, Ake coming into the side instead of Ron Vlaar, and Loughton in defence. Maya and Ignatovic coming in for Delph and Grenier, with Bruma replacing Backley, Juricic the other winger, and Benteke keeping his place up front. People like Romagnoli, Lacazette, and a few others, I think, making onto the bench. Neil Maupay as well making onto the bench, the French striker. Hasn't made much progress since signing from OGC Nice, unfortunately, but still another quick start to the game. Kyle Bartley caught in possession, Christian Benteke rushing through on goal, and he would, of course, score. After the third minute even, after 3 minutes is what I was going for, but still, nevertheless, 17 goals in all competitions. Yeah, another explosive start to the game from ourselves. Kyle Bartley caught in possession, Christian Benteke running forward with that pace he's now developed since the start of this career mode season, and there was only going to be one outcome, but after the 12th minute, Swansea went forward and, to be quite honest, scored a pretty good goal. Wayne Routledge there in the 13th minute, set up by John Joe Shelby and Jose Cañas, and scoring into the bottom right corner as we saw it, past Ron Robert Zila. To be honest, it was a good goal. Nice turn pass. Ake, little bit eager to get in with the tackle there, Nathan Ake, and Loughton was unable to block the shot. Came sliding across, tried his best, but couldn't do anything about it. But 3 minutes later, and we took the lead again. The Serbian Filip Juricic getting his 10th goal this season and his 2nd goal of the episode to make it 2-1. And yet again, for the 2nd time this episode, we'd had an incredible amount of goals in a very short space of time. 3 goals now in the first 16 minutes as opposed to 3 in the first 12 minutes in the Tottenham game, but still a similar result. We were leading 2-1. Loughton then sending a ball forward for Christian Benteke, but a pretty easy save there for Michel Vaughan. But yet again, Swansea caught in possession. Juricic this time stealing the ball. Nice little cut inside there with the Ronaldo chop, but forcing a good save from Michel Vaughan. Nice one-handed save from the Dutchman. Swansea then went forward a little bit. Wilfred Bonney there with the snapshot from long range outside the area. Wasn't really going to trouble the goalkeeper much, but this guy, I actually love Yuri Ignatovic there with the tackle. Keeps it in play with the slide tackle, sets up the move. Loughton gives it to Juricic. He wins the ball off Kyle Bartley, cuts inside and puts it into the far corner. But that was all started by the tenacity of the young Russian Yuri Ignatovic. I really like playing with him, actually. I've only played 2 games, I think 2 friendlies with him in the past. After he signed as a free agent along with Luca Longo, the Italian midfielder, who I don't think featured in this game, but I really like him. He's not got a good stat, but he's really fun to play with. Bruma then sets away and pulled back a little bit, but forcing a good save from Michel Vaughan. Ignatovic then getting forward again, showing a bit of dribbling ability there. Loughton then putting the ball in for Neil Maupay, who came on as a substitute and forced a pretty decent save there from the header from Ron Robert Zila. But Swansea went forward again and really should have scored there. Edwards, I think it was, hitting the post. That move set up there by John Joe Shelby. Really should have done better, but Maya there playing the 1-2 with the young Frenchman Neil Maupay, who came off the bench, and he scores. And 3 youngsters made that move. Yuri Ignatovic, Neil Maupay, and Max Meyer. The future is very bright. Sorry, I cut off the replay of that goal. I do apologise, but still, you guys saw it, I'm pretty sure. But the future's looking quite bright. We've got 3 really class young players there. Max Meyer, Neil Maupay, and Jure Ignatovic, even if they don't have the best potential, they still look very good players. Benteke getting a good rating as well as Neil Maupay, great rating to say he came off the bench. But it was again Juricic who get man of the match with an 8.5 rating. Good ratings as well there for Maya Ignatovic and Nathaniel Klein. But after that, we're going to send our youth scout out in vain, probably, to another country. Evgeny Voinov, despite having 5-star experience and 5-star judgment, doesn't seem to be able to get us a player at all. He's actually got less players than the old scout did. The old scout got Stuart Dwyer, who was promoted last season sometime, halfway through last season, I do believe. I sent Voinov out to Spain nevertheless, but still, this is how the table looks after this episode, and it's looking pretty good for ourselves. After that win against Tottenham, we now go 7 points clear at the top of the table on 28, in front of Chelsea and West Brom continuing their great run of form. Spurs there on 20, in front of Manchester United on 19, followed by Liverpool, Manchester City, and Arsenal, all three who will be a little bit disappointed with that start to the season. West Ham and Newcastle down towards the middle of the table, just in front of Everton and Fulham, who of course relegated a few days ago in real life. Norwich pretty much relegated as well. As well as who else was I don't know who else was relegated, but still, I know, but I just can't remember. But still, at the moment, Stoke, Reading, and Leicester down in relegation zone here. I'm hoping you've enjoyed this episode of Career Mode. Like and subscribe if you did, and comment about enjoying it if you enjoyed it that much. Hope you have a great day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.